Yo, what is going on, everybody? This is Marcus. We are back with another episode of Marcus on Top after a weekend that was full packed with Pokemon action. 3 regionals, 2 in the US, 1 in Europe. Technically all of them were streamed as well, so I hope you got to catch some of those streams. Before I do anything else, comment of the day from last week, I didn't address that, but thanks a lot to Voided Note for his list of mons that you cannot skydrop. That will definitely be helpful. And we're up against Chrysley, someone I know a little bit from Germany. He actually has the exact same team, so we're up for a mirror game. But new comment of the day coming from Jamie the Beautiful. Hearing you say Pokemon name has made me doubt the pronunciation I've used for over 10 years. So yeah, I guess you were alright, and it's probably more like Ludicolo and not what I was saying, but hey. So anyway, first game of the day. As you could probably see, my ranking dropped a little bit more, as with all that action Pokemon, I don't know, like I wanted to try out some teams, some of the stuff we saw at regionals, and also some other stuff. I don't know, I just played a bunch of games and dropped in rating consequently, because yeah, I was just fooling around a little bit. But anyway, so we are up in this mirror match, so I'm pretty sure he probably has the exact same spreads, exact same moves and so on like we do, because once again Yuri's team that we are using has a blog post on Nugget Bridge. You can check that out in the description of one of the previous videos, but yeah, let's see what we can do here. So I actually do think going with Thunderous couldn't be the worst of choices, but he will know about our I don't know, lack of taunt, for example, and yeah, leading Groudon could be really good for him. But I also like Yveltal quite a bit, so I think going with Yveltal and Thunderous could actually help us here. I think theoretically going with our Scissor could help, and also Talonflame for speed control, but I don't know, we don't have the time. We'll just go into it. It's a mirror match after all, so yeah, let's see. He will probably try to set up his own Tailwind anyway, and even if he were to set up Tailwind, then I don't know, it would still be a bunch of speed ties, so I don't want to go that route, but instead I will try to lead with Thunderous to potentially get an early knockout on his Talonflame, and yeah, he exactly leads with that Talonflame and also with the Groudon, so not exactly what I was anticipating, but definitely something that we can work with. As our Yveltal, yeah, checks his special Groudon pretty nicely with the Snarl available to us, for example, but we could also just go for one of those Dark Pulses to bring him into potential like Dark Pulse KO range, as he would probably predict us going for an attack anyway, and maybe he just goes for the Flamethrower with his Groudon. We also know that his Talonflame does not have Protect if he has the same set like we do, so I can pretty safely just go for the Thunderbolt into that Talonflame to just knock it out. Maybe he will just go for a Protect and Tailwind play though. That is definitely possible. So, yeah, I think we will just Snarl here, just to make sure we don't take too much damage from an attack if his Groudon decides to attack, and Thunderbolt should be enough to knock out his Talonflame right away. So I'm guessing, yeah, he will just probably go ahead and go for Protect and Tailwind to get the speed control, and yeah, there it is. He will do that at the cost of his Talonflame though. So now there is 3 more turns of Tailwind that we have to worry about, and yeah, we have to make sure that he does not get off as much damage as he wants to. So having Thunderous out there with the Focus Sash definitely helps in that case, because we can go ahead and Thunder Wave something. I'm guessing he might switch into his Yveltal or maybe his Kangaskhan. Probably Kangaskhan coming in if I had to guess, but we will see. And there it is. So I will probably just go for the double Protect right now. Yeah, for his Fake Out that is most likely incoming, and then we can Thunder Wave his Kangaskhan and do something else with our Yveltal. Or I could also switch into my own Groudon. And then make it a little bit of a prediction game next turn if he wants to go for the Earth Power in that slot. I don't want to switch in Kangaskhan because I think Kangaskhan is definitely a really valuable member in this matchup, since yeah, with Fake Out we can stall out one turn and do some good damage. But yeah, you know what? I actually want to switch in our Groudon and Protect with Thunderous, obviously. So he might predict that since yeah, he knows that Thundurus will have Protect, and he might go ahead and just double target our Groudon slot. But even if he was to KO it, we could then switch into our own Kangaskhan and go for Fake Out and Thunder Wave, or we could go into Yveltal and go for Protect and T-Wave. But yeah, him having the speed advantage and us having the Pokemon advantage definitely has like that interesting dynamic where he, for the next turns, as long as Tailwind is still up, he can, I don't know, like we can't really do any damage to him, but we have to make some clever switches, stall out the Tailwind, and then we should be on top if we manage to survive. So yeah, wisely enough, he did not go for the Fake Out because he was, yeah, probably anticipating us to go for the Protect anyway. Goes for the Eruption, that does so much damage, and also Double Edge into Groudon, so Groudon is no more. A good play on my opponent's end here, just, yeah, taking out the Groudon, and I mean, there wasn't really too much to lose for him from that play, because the Protect on Thundurus is, yeah, the most obvious play in history, probably. But even if he, like, double protected, and also protected our Yveltal, like, there wasn't really much for him to lose that turn, since yeah, Kangaskhan like doesn't have Power Up Punch, for example, so there was no way for him to, I don't know, capitalize on our potential double protect by going for the Power Up Punch on his own Groudon, which if he had Power Up Punch, that would have been a viable play as well. So let's think. Next turn we definitely want to Thunder Wave his Kangaskhan, but what do we want to do with our other slot? I actually like going into Kangaskhan, just so we can prevent his Groudon to go for like another Eruption right there. So I will just Fake Out the Groudon and Thunder Wave the Kangaskhan. Maybe we get lucky with a full Parada, that would be like the dream scenario, but maybe he also just goes for a low kick or a double edge right here to get a knockout. But then yeah, we will have Yveltal and Kangaskhan right next to each other, and those will have to try to somehow get the victory right there. But yeah, that play my opponent made where he doubled up in the ground definitely set us back a little bit, because yeah, since Kangaskhan does not have Protect, it will be more difficult to stall out his Tailwind. So we successfully get off the Fake Out as well as the Thunder Wave. Let's hope that we get the Para. But nope, he just goes for the low kick, so now this is actually a roll. Let's see if we can take it. And we actually survive with 1 HP. Wow, that is really nice. That is really, really nice. Okay, so we are still alive with our Kangaskhan. However, for how long is the question? I do think we probably just have to go for a Sucker Punch right here. Because Kangaskhan, yeah, is outsped by his Groudon, and I don't want to switch into Yveltal. So a play we could actually make is Sucker Punch and Thunderbolt into his Kangaskhan to knock it out. And then he might go for the Eruption though. But then he has Yveltal in the back, and we have Yveltal, so that could be really interesting. But I think we do have to go for this. If he like goes for the Sucker Punch onto our Thundurus, that would be a really good play on his end. Let's hope he doesn't do that. And yep, he actually doesn't do it. Okay, so nice. Our Eruption will obviously take out our Kangaskhan and bring down our Thundurus to Focus Sash. But we should be able to knock out his Kangaskhan right there with Thunderbolt, and then it's a 2v2. And yeah, that's probably our best bet to still win this game. But, oh, his Kangaskhan actually survives the Thunderbolt, wow. Definitely didn't expect that, but we do get lucky and bail out there with the full paralysis. Whew, okay, so I really didn't expect this Kangaskhan to live. Interested in knowing how much HP that actually is, because our Thundurus is max special attack, and our Kangaskhan is max attack, so... But anyway, he somehow managed to survive that. So, I do think the only play that is really available to us right now is go for the Snarl with Yveltal and protect Thundurus. Because, yeah, we just need to preserve our Thundurus for his Yveltal that he will most likely have in the back. I mean, we don't even know that for sure. But he will maybe he went for the Sucker Punch onto our Yveltal right there. We can't know for certain as once again we get lucky and he get full paralysis. He get the full paralysis. Yeah, he was fully paralyzed, I should say. Anyway, so his Kangaskhan goes down to the Snarl, doing good amount of damage to his Groudon as well. And he goes for the Flamethrower into the Thunderous. Wow. So protecting there really helped us. I don't think there was too much else we could have done with Thunderous, to be honest. I mean, I could have tried to go for a Hidden Power Ice, potentially on his Groudon, but that just doesn't do any damage at all. And wow, he has his own Thunderous in the back. So trick is on me. I thought it would be Yveltal for sure, but nope. It is that Thunderous, huh? So now it really comes down to those next two turns. Maybe this is actually the deciding turn. I could go for the Dark Pulse on his Groudon to knock it out, but if he goes for the Protect with Groudon and Thunder Waves me, then we probably just lose. So I could also go ahead and protect Yveltal and then Thunderbolt his Thunderous. So, he protects Thunderous. Really good play on my opponent's end if he attacked with Groudon right there. Yeah, that is probably game. Really well played here. Predicting us, goes for the Eruption at low HP, but that doesn't matter because it will be enough to take out our own Thunderous. And that will probably seal the deal right there. So yeah, really well played endgame by my opponent, even though I don't think Flamethrower on our Thunderous at the turn we protected was the perfect play to make there. But yeah, despite those two paras we got on his Kangaskhan, we still did not manage to take this game because yeah, his Kangaskhan surviving that combination of Sucker Punch and T-Wood as well was not something I expected, and then him having Thunderous in the back. Yeah, imagine he had Yveltal, then our Thunderous, I don't know, we could have just won that game I think by going for T-Bolt and then take out his Groudon with our Yveltal, and then it's Yveltal on Yveltal, but we have the HP advantage, so yeah, we would have been able to take that game probably. So I don't know, I will just go for the Snarl because in case... Nah, we will just almost go down to the T-Wall already. So yeah, losing the first game of the day here in that mirror match. So yeah, Snarl would have actually been able to get a 2-hit KO on his Thunderous, which is interesting to know. So maybe... Nah, that would have helped us. Since, yeah, Snarl plus Thunderbolt probably wouldn't have KO'd his Thunderous anyway. So yeah, good game here in that mirror match in the first game of today's episode. Certainly didn't expect to play a mirror match with that team. But maybe if I was to play it again, I would also consider leading off with Groudon potentially. Because, yeah, the way we played it, by going for the speed control with Thunderous, I don't know, like, we already realized that opposing Groudon can give this team a little bit of trouble. And so I probably should have capitalized on that knowledge that we gained from playing the team already. But, yeah, he had the speed control going for him with that Tailwind, and then we unfortunately weren't able to stall it out efficiently. So next game here, up against a pretty high-rated opponent from Japan, 1782, is rocking a team with Lopunny, Smeargle, Gengar, Thunderous, and the most common restricted Mondu and Xerneas Groudon. So let's see what this team is about. Lopunny and Smeargle looks like it could be some hardcore Xerneas setup team. Lopunny is a little bit like Kangaskhan in a way. If you like lead Smeargle and Xerneas and then you have like Lopunny in the back, you can switch that in, go for like fake outs, but also disrupt your opponent with moves like Encore, for example. So something I could actually try this game is go with Kangaskhan and Scizor, which I think is a pretty decent anti-lead against stuff like that. Or we could go with the Groudon and Thunderous. That can also deal with that stuff. I feel like my opponent might go for Smeargle and Xerneas. So, I don't know, I just want to try out this Kangaskhan and Scizor that I thought about at some point. And then in the back, what do we want to have? Probably our Talonflame for priority Brave Birds. And then maybe the Groudon over the Evoltral, just for general damage output. Ah, this is tough. Yeah, I don't know. Let's just see what will happen. So basically, the idea behind going with Kangaskhan and Scizor right here is that if my opponent leads with Smeargle and Xerneas, we could potentially go for a play like feinting something and KOing the Smeargle if he like double protects fearing a fake out, or we could just go ahead and fake out Iron Head, for example. So there's quite some options if my opponent leads with Xerneas. But let's see what he does. That actually looks like Thundurus and Groudon, and yep, there it is, Thundurus Groudon, and that is one of the worst leads that we could face, I think. So yeah, we didn't go with our own Thundurus and Groudon, which is also something I considered. So that would have been funny if we went directly into that mirror match, but nope. So yeah, Scizor not really doing anything right here for us, since we don't even have like knockoff, and even if we had like Bug Bite, that wouldn't help us either. But yeah, that is just a really terrible matchup. So I think we will go ahead and fake out the Groudon and call back our Scizor into our own Groudon. Just so that we have at least the option to go for the Speedter right here, because I do believe that there's not too much else we can do to deal with that Groudon. Once again, really difficult for this team to deal with Groudon if you cannot really bring your Evoltral in position. And my opponent, wisely enough, also brought Thundurus next to his Groudon, so even if he had Evoltral as a lead, he could have just, I don't know, gone ahead and Thunderbolt us into oblivion, or just protect T-Wave, something like that. So let's see if we can get off that fake out, which would be like the first little bit amount of chip damage on his Groudon. And but yeah, going for protect and T-Wave is also a play that is available to him. But looks like nope, he decided to attack with both his Mons, maybe fearing, I don't know, a setup move from Scizor coming out. But he actually just goes ahead and goes for the Thunderbolt, so this makes me think that his, well, great. That his Thundurus, yeah, is actually Life Orb, and there it is, but yeah, since he went for the Thunderbolt, he didn't even have to go for the T-Bolt, I guess. For the Thunder Wave, I guess, since we are paralyzed no matter what. But yeah, this brings us in a tough spot, definitely. So the question is, do we just stay in here and watch as he will KO our Kangaskhan? Or we will go ahead and do something about it? I do think we will go for the Sucker Punch and Eruption, actually, to potentially have a chance of knocking out both his Mons if we get, like, I don't know, crit or something like that, but I would expect his Groudon to protect our switch out, and his Thundurus to just go ahead and probably KO our Kangaskhan anyway. Since, yeah, he's in a pretty good position, so he doesn't have to risk the Speed Tie, and yeah, he goes for the Protect. But as long as he just KOs our Kangaskhan, then that is just fine. But he actually goes for the Grass Knot on our Groudon. Yeah, good play on my opponent's end here. As now, I don't think our Eruption will even knock him out. This is not going really well. Yeah, he barely survives, even with a critical hit, wow. So, I don't think there's too much else we can do next turn than to go for the Sucker Punch on his Thundurus and risk the Speed Tie once again on his Groudon. Yeah, this has not been a very pleasant set of games, but I don't know, just opposing Groudon's really giving this team some trouble. So he goes for the Swagger actually, wow. So he really wants to get the rolls in his favor, and that is actually a pretty good play, because it means that even if we win the Speed Tie, we could confuse hit ourselves, and Sucker Punch will fail. But we actually managed to win the Speed Tie right here, so 50-50, but we hit ourselves. I think that is just GG, because he will probably just Eruption and KO us. Okay. So yeah, Swagger coming through there, and even though we want a potential Speed Tie, there's not really much we can do. I don't even know what else we could have done here. Maybe leading with Groudon would have been better. Leading, I don't know, Groudon and Thundurus ourselves could have helped. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think, like, even Brave Bird critical hit on his Groudon is probably not enough to knock it out. But we can try anyway. Feint the Thundurus for the KO and just Brave Bird his Groudon, because why not? So at least we managed to take out that Thunderous Swagger. T-Bolt Grass Knot with Life Orb is also not a set I've seen before, but Grass Knot definitely did quite a bit of damage to that Groudon with the Life Orb, and yeah, even a crit wouldn't have been enough. So he just goes for the Eruption, and that should be enough to take out our Scizor anyway, so not really much we could do there. And that'll be it. 2 losses today. I'm not sure if that was the first episode where we got 2 losses, but definitely one of the rare occasions. And I think that it will actually also wrap up the series with this team, since, yeah, from the regionals, from the weekend, I've got some cool ideas, I think, inspired by others, of course, and I just know, I just want to try out some more stuff. I mean, we've seen Kyurem White do well at 2 events, for example. We've seen Choice Scarf Kyogre in the finals of the regional. Shoutouts to Eloy for bringing that. We've seen, I don't know, quite a few different teams make it deep into the tournaments, so yeah, I want to try out some more stuff from there, if I can get the teams, of course. But yeah, Mega Lopunny comes out, goes for the Fake Out, and Eruption should finish this Talonflame. GG! So, yeah, I think I said everything I wanted to say. Thanks a lot for watching. If you still liked what you saw, make sure to leave a like on the video and subscribe to my channel. By the way, we hit 2,800 subs. That is pretty nice. Thanks a ton for that, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.